make all the demons quiet. Yeah, we were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with the old plan. They know that we're calling it wrong. You got me like, oh yeah, I think that we've all had enough.
I'm protective of what we are building. Even I separate my personal political views from the content of the Rippaverse. Everybody knows to leave it all at the door, and should personal views get in the way of business, they won't be here.
Or that other video I did about Bobby Chase, who used to be one of the editors-in-chief at Marvel back in the 90s, saying that when she was hired, she had to check her politics at the door, but she worked to subvert that system so that it is now the opposite case.
Everybody knows to leave it all at the door.
She had to check her politics at the door, but she worked to subvert that system.
Leave it all at the door.
Check her politics at the door.
At the door.
Politics at the door.
The door.
Rebel, you rage without a cause. Fools on parade, bearing no cross. Bury the truth, repeat the lie. Mob is the rule, fueling the fire. Hey, you got something to say? You're talking to me as you're walking away. Hey, you got something to say? You're talking to me as you're walking away. You say you want revolution, talking the walk, ready to run. Hashtag rebel, barking your bicycle, virtue in bold, kiss it goodbye. Hey, you got something to say? You're talking to me as you're walking away. Hey, you got something to say? You're talking to me as you're walking away. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la. Instigator, agitator, rabble rouser, troublemaker.
say, oh my God, I see the way you shine. Take your hand, my dear, and place them both in mine. You know you stopped me dead while I was passing by. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time.
Ooh, I see you every time. Oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And I beg to see you dance just one more time. So say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. Say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. I say, oh my God, I see you walking by. Take my hands, my dear, and look me in my eyes. Just like a monkey, I've been dancing my whole life. But you there to see me dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. Oh my, I like your style. Ooh, you make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time.
So say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I've never seen anybody do the things you do before. Say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. Dance longer. Dance for me, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. Move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. When you're done, I'll make you do it all again. So say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. Say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. Yeah.
Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough. Oh, yeah, I think that we've all had enough. Sick of dealing with this
What's up, what's down? Tell me something going round. Let's discuss the light of day. Spitting truth, come with me. What's up, what's down? Nothing's ever out of bounds. There has to be a better way. Always something of a better play. Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack Day, Hero Shack, baby things. Hero Shack, hey, Hero Shack, yeah. Hero Shack, daily things. Here we go.
Hello, welcome to Hero Shack Daily Things, episode number 5. I don't know if I'm solo or not. Invites have been sent out, but not responded to. So I'll tell you a little bit about my story. Got into a conversation today with a bunch of X-Men fans, and they were all excited about the cartoon. And, you know, of course, that's a mixed bag of reviews. People are up and down about it. Some think it's woke. Some think it's just X-Men, whatever. I don't really have an opinion. I'm not going to watch it. I haven't seen much. I've seen a couple of clips. It looks like an old cartoon. Okay. Then they started talking, and we got into the subject of, you know, why Marvel sucks, why Marvel and DC suck. And basically, I realized I was talking to a bunch of 30-plus-year-olds. And they were openly telling me, you know, comics aren't for kids anymore. They haven't been for kids for 30 years. And this blew my mind because more than ever, it's like striking me that is the problem. There are no kids coming up in American comics. They're in manga. The kids are gone. You know, when we're talking to people who are reading the comics that Marvel and DC are putting out, we're not talking to teenagers that are hyped up about Batman or Spider-Man or the Hulk. We're talking to, you know, the millennials that are now hitting their 30s and their 40s. If that's the way the numbers work, I'm not sure. But we're not talking to kids. And I think the only way Western comics are going to have a revival is if we start making some books for kids. It doesn't mean you can't make your books any way you want to make them, but there has to be a presence for the kids, and it has to be good shit. It can't be crap. Welcoming to the panel is Tim Olson, the amazing writer of Melvin. How are you, Tim?
Yes. But what about the other kids that are looking for the things that their parents don't want them to have?
Well, that's
where-
why you stash it, and then the kid has to steal it.
That's
And
where
I don't mean to endorse stealing, but isn't that what happens?
Yes, it already happened. It happened. I gave a few copies away, and apparently the kids stole it out of their parents' room. See, that's what I was gonna say. That's where I come in, Chris.
Well, you know what? The best part of that testimony right there is that you're showing that kids still do have a desire to get into comics.
Yes. What I'm saying
Oh,
is, there are the kids that like the little goody two shoe comics, and there's the people who buy my books.
Well, the thing is, like, it was getting really deep, and these people, I don't want to insult them, but they don't know what they're talking about. Some girl told me, well, the original X-Men had plenty of gays in it. I said, all right. I said, okay, tell me who. And I'm thinking she's going to say Iceman, right?
Right.
And she says Jubilee, someone named Deharuda or something. I don't even know the name.
Yeah.
And then plenty others. And I said, the original X-Men were Cyclops, Angel, Beast, Iceman, and Marble Girl. I feel really sad for you. She doesn't know what she's talking about. And it's not really her fault. She's been raised up on something totally different than what we know, you know?
Was Jubilee ever? Did they make her gay or something?
I think they made Jubilee bisexual or something. I didn't want to get into it because I was going to say to her, well, you know, it used to be Peter and her, and she was substantially younger. It was kind of curious, you know, it was a little risque, but I didn't say that because Peter maintained his honor and they would twist it up. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to say anything like that. But that was the big play when I was a kid. I remember Kitty had a crush on him, and he was affectionate towards her, but he maintained his manly dignity. Nevertheless, it would have been perverted and twisted, and who knows what they've done to them since.
Yeah.
I haven't read since Jim Lee was taking over, and I read some of those, and then I just kind of drifted away from Marvel. Not because of anything other than I was getting older, you know, and then you go through that phase where you drop comics.
I was mostly like Wolverine, X-Force, kind of guy. Those are the top two that I always got because they were badasses.
I'm looking.
Ah.
Isn't Jubilee Kitty? Isn't that like what they did with her?
No.
Isn't that the Kitty Pryde became Jubilee as her code name?
No, that was not no. That's Kitty Pryde's a different character altogether, man.
Are you certain?
I am certain. I'd stake money on it.
All right,
Like
hang
a
on.
whole like a whole penny.
Hang on, I'm looking. Oh my God, you're right. I always thought they were
You
the one
owe
and
me
the
a
same.
penny.
That is awesome. What?
Yeah.
Hang on. It's been Kitty has been written better. It's actually a lot of people who thought that she was. That's crazy.
I kind of almost felt like they made Jubilee kind of like Wolverine's sidekick for a while because she was always appearing in his books.
Well, what's crazy is I always thought Kitty was kind of a sidekick for a while.
Exactly.
I thought it was Kitty the whole time. I think I know how it happened, though. I think it was a matter of basically I got confused with the cartoons because I think that's where I saw Jubilee. It wasn't. I remember her in Jim Lee stuff, but I want to say I remember her being in a cartoon that really made me think she was Kitty.
You know what the best pre-Jim Lee X-Men book was? Story arc was Mer Island Saga.
Was that? Or you might have to help me there. Was that where they all went? No, that wasn't when they went to the.
It was the Shadow King was like I guess he'd possessed some of the X-Men, and it actually brought X Factor and X-Men back together as one team.
I'm drawing a blank.
I think the Shadow King possessed Polaris, Rogue, and I think Colossus.
Oh.
It was a good story arc. And then like there was like the final battles between Charles Xavier and Shadow King in like the astral plane or something.
Vaguely remember some of that. I think maybe by that time I wasn't in it, or I was getting out of it. You know.
Well, it was the kind of like what led into the return of the X-Men series.
All right, let's see. So
I did think the idea of Magneto's acolytes was pretty cool. Like he had followers.
So I'm trying to send Rick the link.
Yeah.
And it's not working. Hang on, let me try this again. Oh, here we go. All right. It was weird. It gave me the preview and it wouldn't show me the submit button, but I just sent it. We'll see if he really wanted to join this conversation. All right. Here we go. I'm going over here. What you yawning for, man?
Stimulating conversation.
What you yawning for? I want to start preaching. I'm like, dude, because this all goes back to one event in all of comics, and that was when Marvel and DC abandoned the Comic Code Authority.
Oh, that again.
But it's true, and I'm not even suggesting it comes back, but we need to be aware that as soon as they took, well, not as soon, but when they took those gates out, everything went adult. And one of the things that was obvious is kids don't want to sit through 10 pages of anybody's sexuality, their gender, their political stances. They want to get to the good guy, bad guy stuff. They want to see the fight.
You were just saying that like the manga, and manga is full. Have you seen some of the manga?
Yes, but it's written different. It's written differently. It's not the same. It's a whole different tempo.
Yeah, but I mean, you could literally watch people's heads explode and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't say they weren't more graphic.
I'm just saying.
But that's where they're going because they're trying to get away from this. Okay, before you can truly understand Wolverine, you need to understand his sexuality and how he's also into boys at times. And why do you need to know any of that? Well, that's the new Wolverine. Remember, they have the little relationship between him, Cyclops, and Jean Grey in one of their modern
Oh yeah, that crap.
Yeah, and it's like, come on, man. All you need in a Wolverine story is Wolverine and a bad guy to go after and a good writer. That's all you need. Anything else you're putting in there is just it's
Well,
nougat in between the kid and the adventure. Now,
some
maybe
of the best,
Wolverine's not the best example because
some
he
of
is
the best,
kind of an adult character.
right? Right.
Go ahead. I'm trying to shut up for you.
Some of the best Wolverine stories was when somebody was going after him, or
Mhm.
they had targeted somebody that he cared about. And that was kind of the struggle that he couldn't have a normal life.
The one story that stood out and still does to me is I think it was a 4-part miniseries or limited series by Frank Miller. And Wolverine was like in Japan with Yuriko or whatever her name was.
Yeah, that was
Like he went against these ninjas and had like 50 arrows in his back and he's going down the street. It
yeah,
was it was awesome. It was right
and
before he
like
did
you
Conan.
said, the Comic Code Authority, so they couldn't go full detail, but you still got the idea.
Well, that was the thing. He worked right around that, and it was like, and never did black ink look so cool than it was splattered like blood. It was like,
Yeah.
wow, that's
My, there,
effective.
let's see, was it Wolverine number? I want to say 22, but I might be wrong. It was one where he was in Madripoor and he was fighting some yakuza in this bar, and they shot him up, and he was kind of they were one of them was checking over the bar to see if he was dead, and of course Wolverine's got his hand underneath the bar, right? And the guy's looking over, and the claws just shoot out through the bar and through the guy's back. And of course, like 12-year-old me's like, oh, this is so freaking cool.
Well, but that was because there was an envelope that he could push. Today, all the envelopes have been removed, and like it's a lot harder to get a response. So just like we see in music, where you now have women talking about their sexual organs flapping around juicy wet, and it's like, this is top 40. Like there's no place much further they can go in the world of like entertainment because they've opened up all the floodgates.
Yeah.
It's in Disney,
I don't know.
it's in Warner Brothers, it's everywhere.
I still say the graphic nature of things isn't really the issue. The issue is that they're putting their stupid little agendas into the story where it's like, I don't care about that.
But that's the problem, because that stuff is the adult stuff, even if it's not rated R or X. Go ahead,
Well,
Rick. You want to add something?
Well, I was going to say it's part of it. I think both things are part of it. I haven't heard the whole conversation, but I think I get a little gist of it from what Kim just said. I think the
But we're
fact
also
that
arguing that
them
there's
putting
an
that stuff
Indian.
isn't doing.
There's an Indian guru across the world who's casting a shadow over Spider-Man. I read about it online.
Oh, is there?
No, I'm just making it up. Kim said he didn't, or Rick said he didn't hear it all, so I was going to try to play along.
Well, I mean, like, I can, a little after in the 90s, I kind of became a Image Comics fan.
Yeah, and by that time, I had gotten into some of the Spawn stuff.
Yeah.
But really, I was grabbing an issue here and there. I wasn't committed, and I disappeared from comics until I came to Iceman 1 that I found in a bargain package that my wife got me at Walmart.
Yeah.
And I was awoken.
But, the thing is, sometimes with boundaries, you're able to get creative, I know you're not too hip on Disney right now, Chris, but, Disney gets creative in their innuendos.
Disney, though,
the adults get, but still.
I have to be honest, and anybody out there watching, please forgive me if you're a Disney fan, but to me right now, Disney is a lost company. It's being manipulated, if not totally controlled by demonic forces, and I just look at it and I feel so much pain for children everywhere, really. Disney, when I was growing up, they had their, oh, look, the mouse is a wizard. And we didn't realize they had like flashed a boob inside of one of the movies, or that they were slipping secret messages in the clouds. Disney was just like, here we are. We're just doing a nice thing. This is just a nice movie. Like The Lion King was beautiful. And then once they had the trust of everybody, it was like,
Yeah.
dun,
And
dun,
that's
dun.
it. Us kids didn't get. Yeah, but that's it. Us kids didn't get that stuff. We didn't see it. We didn't realize some of it, the adult stuff. But the adults watching it realized it, and thus it made it entertaining enough for the adults to.
Well, that's kind of the whole thing that's missing from comics today. You're talking about the innuendo, and really, I learned a wonderful word today, which I always knew, but it really applies. The masters of the 60s, 70s, and 80s knew how to write allegories where they could tell you a story that was relevant to the world of today without saying that mean Republican is on the throne and we must go take him out because he is a Trump of a man. No, they would write a story where you would be able to imagine that could be Trump, or that could be Trudeau, or that could be the Queen of England. You know what I mean?
I believe what you're saying is they weren't too on the nose.
Right, but they were on the nose enough that anybody who was either intelligent enough or looking back, knowing history, might go, gee, maybe Magneto was, an allegory for, they say Malcolm X and Professor X was Malcolm, or was Martin Luther King Jr.
Yeah.
But there's other arguments that they actually were representative of German leaders. And go ahead, Rick.
I was going to suggest, look at the Star Trek episode where, the one guy was black on the right side and white on the other side, that was all about prejudice.
I don't remember the moral.
Only half of them got arrested.
Well, these two guys were fighting, right? And they've been fighting for, thousands of years, apparently. And one was, black on the right side and white on the left. And the other guy was vice versa.
Oh, that's disgusting. No.
But, they're fighting for thousands of years over, who's, the one guy thought the other guy was inferior, and they're fighting thousands of years, and they get back to their planet and they find out it's all destroyed. They're this race war, if you will.
Oh, do you see what they were trying to show? That's an allegory. That's a really simple allegory that's easy to see through because it was obvious, but that's an allegory. You know what I mean? Like, they don't come out and say, black and white people, if you don't get along, you could end up killing everybody. No, but they're showing you in a rather direct. Wow, they couldn't have. It's so like they couldn't have made it like red and blue or yellow and pink. Nope. It's black and white, guys. We're going to put it right in your face. Well, more credit to them, though. They had to,
No one picked up on the fact that the cult in the Melvin series is actually kind of an allegory for the left.
On the which series?
Melvin.
Oh.
Think about it. The second issue, they destroyed an entire city. They wear black hoods.
Now, see, if you put little stars over nipples, you might be able to make that a kid book. I'm teasing. I don't believe you've ever had nudity, have you? Not like that.
Not really, no. There's been
you've had some suggestive, yeah. Like no. Actually, I don't think your book is. I was listening to one of the replays, right? And Diana was getting on you about it not being a kid's book. But it's not really the worst book out there. Like, I remember when I did Cluster Fudge and I thought I was going to get like hate mail because it was so adult oriented and people were like, it wasn't really that adult. And I'm like, what? But then I realized how bad it can get. And I was like, okay, maybe they're right. Rick, we got to find a way. You get all sorts of delay, don't you?
Well, I'm hearing you guys fine, but you guys we're probably delayed a little bit. There is probably a delay, but I think it's my internet and all that. But there is a little. But then again, just there's regular delay on the net.
Let's just say there's when I was writing Melvin 3 in my head, I wanted it to be like a hard R, but for some reason Sid's interpretation made it like PG-13.
Well, Sid might actually be
there's
that far.
Huh?
That might be where you're.
I think it was just I think it was just his interpretation was
or his instincts. Like if you sent me a script and we like, does he speak direct English and stuff?
Well, yeah.
But like if he's not sure, like as an artist, he might be like, hey, I better not push too hard because I don't know how far Tim will let me go. Because you are intimidating.
Well,
I'd be afraid. I'd be like, Tim's gonna fire me if I drop this nipple too hard in this dress.
What?
Yeah.
What is this crap?
I know
But
that
it's
he
also
won't
how
let
far
me do that
he's
stuff.
But
What's
it's
that?
also how far he's willing to go too. Is he
Well, that's
like
true.
John? Is he like John and he'll draw anything? Especially if you play him.
Well, no. There's at least one idea. He's like, I don't want to draw this if you're, because I was doing a parody. I wanted a logo for a parody, one-page parody story called Moobs.
Oh.
And it was about two creators that have been butthurt about EVS since 2018. It's just like like one scene from every year.
I have to say something about the boobs people. I came within an eighth of an inch of like just. I instantly saw why he gets in so many arguments.
He starts it. He sets it up, and then when they get backlash, they play victims.
Well, you saw the clip where you must have seen it, where he was like talking about Big King, and then he bitched because Vicky didn't give him a heads up, and I was like, dude, who are you? Like, why would Vicky go, let me contact Mr. Wheeler and notify him of it? No, she doesn't even know that he was involved with King, so it's like,
yeah,
he gave this attitude on a stream, and then she kind of poured it back, and I almost got involved, and I was like, nah, Vicky's got this. I don't need to get, because he's like a headache. He makes like vendettas and starts going after people.
Well, yeah, but he also made the claim that he got hit the worst. And I said to him, I had to change artwork in 2 books. Speak for yourself.
Yeah. Well, he, like you said, the victim thing, and I don't know the wife. I just, I don't even know him. I just know my impression of him snapping at her like that was like, dude, really? All right. Like, I probably have more direct messages with Vicky than he has over the last 20 years. And I wouldn't consider myself on a heads up, like that's not, it's not that kind of thing with her, like she's.
And heads up, like, oh, what do you want? A week's notice? Oh, geez, I found out yesterday.
Yeah.
What do you think you are, Sony? They're going to announce it, and you're going to walk up and go, 249. No. You can't change your art before it happens. You're going to find out like everybody else.
Oh, I've caught him a couple times also taking like full credit for that for his for the boobs comic book. I just put the book up on Kickstarter, and I just made this much money. And at one time on chat I said, "Don't you mean we, as in you and your wife?" Doesn't she draw the book? Why don't you give her some credit?
Yeah, it's kind of rough when the credit should be shared, but I'm a selfish man. I do all my book by myself, and then I go, and Diana's editing. I hate putting that on her, but I don't have another editor,
Yeah. Well, she makes your stuff shine, brother.
She helps a lot. And when I screw up, it's really me. It's usually nothing within her control. Like when I sent out that first run of Trolls.
Yeah,
that was all me. Yeah. Not even close to being her fault.
Yeah. I just think it's. Well, I just thought. Go ahead.
I can sort of get his point saying sometimes you say like there's a team that I have, right? Sort of.
Yeah.
But I would say I'd put out, comics.
Well, no, have you ever heard me talk about mine?
No.
So I say I draw and I write and I color and I letter. Then I say Diana edits. Then I talk about George Smith, who was the guy who was in Bindery, and it came from a press that Cheryl Wilson was running, and that came from, no, I'm full of it. I'm making it sound. I'm not very funny. I'm trying, and I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like let's be honest though.
It's funny to look at.
Hold on. when I post a picture of my book, somebody says, "Oh man, that's awesome." I go, "Yeah, I'll let Sid know. I'll let them know this is an awesome page." Let him, not I'm not gonna take credit for what someone else did.
Hey Tim, can you get on the camera at all?
But when I do it, it's not. I'm not trying to diminish anybody that's worked for me.
Cool.
It's because
That's
it's
all I
my
need. I'm going to put
company
you
and
in the
it's
opening.
You bastard.
It's you too, Rick. But did you guys see the opening?
yeah. I saw
Yeah.
I saw it by itself. I watched it like over an hour ago.
No, hang on. I won't play the whole thing. Did you see this part thing? Like you guys,
Yeah, I've
tried
seen
to
it
get.
before.
Yeah. Okay.
You
So
put it up. You put it up by itself as a video, and I watched
right,
that
right.
video.
But like now I can put us in there. Like I didn't have much, and I didn't go through all the old ones because I got stuck. I kept listening to what was being talked about, and I
Did
was like,
you? Where did you get that? Did you produce that yourself, or did you like? I mean, the song. Did you get an AI to do the song, or?
"Oh yeah, totally." I don't do
Lazy,
jingles. I don't do
lazy.
jingles. I could do jingles, but I don't.
I'm throwing shame at you. Lazy.
I'm catching it totally because I do everything, by hand with my art and my writing. But on this, I'm like, I wrote the lyrics, ooh, but like the music, I'm just like, I could care less. And I know there are people going, "Oh, you could have hired me." Well, I could have made it myself, but it's like a 12-second clip,
Right.
What I
I
do
get it.
find funny is like when people are hypocritical about it, because I've gotten to the point where, hey, if you want to use AI, because I know creators right now who use it daily and they're publishing stuff. That's fine, but it's not my gig. I do my stuff my way. They can do it any way they want. I just look at it like competition. That spurs me to go a little further, learn a little more. Right now, I'm watching a lot of coloring videos. I got to up my game in colors because that masks
There you
a
go.
lot of weak art.
Yeah.
If I can learn to be a master colorist, I could draw like shit the rest of my life. It wouldn't matter.
So how do you feel about the whole background check thing?
I love it. Only because I don't have to do it. Background checks can be expensive. A few things like you could get immediate stuff just by getting the guy's real name. Like if you can't find something on Google about him, ask him, some, I don't know, hey dude, what town are you from? Where did you grow up? Where can I find information about you? Who's your mama? I don't know. I guess it's a good idea,
Or you
but
could
it becomes
have
hard,
them,
doesn't it?
if you could have them submit their record. They have a record,
Yeah. But like, how do you do that with like someone from Brazil?
Um,
Okay, so let's say I decide I'm going to do a side series and I'm going to hire somebody at a very good page rate from Brazil. How do I background check that guy?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that there are ways.
Hello, Intense, and that's probably because of the Vic King thing.
Yeah. Hello, Intense Webs. You may not know,
Long
but
time no
one of
see.
the Vic King, a comic skate artist,
Or
was
an
exposed as
artist,
being under an alias because he was
a
convicted
creepo.
of child rape, is what they like to call it. He was a
Yeah.
pedo, but he got involved. I think it's just I don't like
Well,
calling it just child rape because it was like statutory rape, but it's
yeah.
still never good. It's
Yeah.
and once everybody found
Yeah.
out, they were like, "Oh, done."
Although I heard, well, I read it in one of the PMs that I'm a part of. He did write a letter to a couple people saying that he was falsely accused but went to jail just because he didn't have any more money to fight it.
That may
And
be, but that's what he's kind of stuck with. Then it's like, what do you do with that? It's like,
yeah.
okay, that may have been the case, but now you have that you have to live with because people aren't going to believe that.
Well, some
Well,
will, some won't, some will care.
Rick, that I think that's BS because the article said that he confessed to it. So
Yeah, well, because he didn't have any he more money to fight, and if you have no more money to fight, he thought he was going to go to jail for 20 years. Now, personally, me, I would have fought no matter. I'm pretty sure I would have fought no matter what. If I would have went to jail for 20 years, fine. I'm willing to take that risk.
well,
You
I just say that I'm just going by
I,
what the article said. He confessed to police. He confessed it. Therefore,
Yeah,
by
but
his
just
own admission
because
is guilty.
Yeah, but
Well,
see,
no.
Rick, what you're saying makes sense, but you can't really take any faith in that because just ask yourself, what would a convicted pedophile tell you?
Yeah. Well, the question is, yes, a convicted pedophile could tell you that for sure. It's no qualms. But also, an innocent man like that would tell you. Yeah, there's I forget which movie. I think Shawshank Redemption said there's no innocent men in prison. Everybody's innocent here, right? So
There's
they
no.
all
I
kind
think
of
what you mean to say is there's no guilty man in prison. Everyone here is innocent.
yeah. Everybody says they're innocent. So I don't know whether to believe them in that letter or not. We as Christians are
I know
supposed
how.
to think the
I know
better
how.
of him.
I cannot do it from afar. You take a Bible, a little Bible, a hand Bible works, and you touch it upon his forehead and you say, tell me again the truth. And if he lies, the Bible will burn his forehead. I've seen it happen once or twice in movies, and it was very cool.
In movies.
But so I'll say I don't know. If he did, he's going to answer to God for it,
Exactly.
and
Right.
that's who he has to answer
So
to.
what
But if
what
he
people who
didn't do
use
it,
him now though, anybody who uses him from now on has to say, okay, if I bring him on, I have to deal with the fact that everybody's going to say you just hired a pedophile, and that's just the reality of it. So like,
but the
he might
thing
be able to
is, he's
survive
all-
like Vito does. You know how Vito kind of has that rap,
yeah.
but like I
But
know
the
how
thing
I feel. I think I know how Tim feels.
Yeah,
Um,
and I
it's
get how
critical.
Tim feels, but the guy is entitled to work too. He has to make a living somehow.
Yep. So if I was him, I would like be behind the
And I'd
counter,
rather,
like at the
in some
prime
ways,
machine.
in some ways, would you rather him make some sort of living, or would you rather him be feeding off the government, getting a
If he's a
check every month?
pedophile, I don't know. It would depend which one keeps him further away from the school. And I know that's a joke in a way, but I'm kind of not joking. Like, I don't know, like I don't know how much of a real like he was listed as a
Level 2.
class 2 likely to offend. That's not
Yeah, but
that's bad, man. Like,
That's
so
horrible.
what was he doing?
It is, but I know somebody that is no threat to anybody, and he's had some thing with the law, but they wanted to convict him, put a dangerous offender on him. When that, he wouldn't, he can be a bit idiotic at times, this guy, but he's not going to go out of his way to be physically dangerous most of the time.
I like how you do that most of the time.
I don't want to say too much, because he's a friend. I don't want to give away.
Riddle me this. Is this in Canada?
Obviously, somebody I know in person.
Well, your laws are weird. You guys have Trudeau.
Yeah, but we
You guys
yes,
went
we
after
do.
the truckers and made all these. Well, not you guys, but Trudeau went after the truckers and made all these like weird accusations and shut down their money and did all this horrible stuff. And it's like,
Yeah, but he's about to pay the price for that too. He's about to
I
get
don't know.
sued
I hope
because
so, but I feel like he's Patrick
Well,
Mahomes.
a court recently, a court of some sort recently said what he did was wrong. So now a bunch of people are going to be suing him.
That wasn't the court of Happy Meals. That wasn't like the court of just like, okay, we're going to say bad stuff about him. Yeah, me. Well, this intention, you know what we're doing? We're creating online drama.
Shit.
Oh,
Wait till I get on Rick about the
but-
color of his sweatshirt because it keeps changing. You look like an ISOM picture, Rick. Every time you move, the lighting changes, and so does the color of your shirt.
oh no.
Come on and tell me. Look at my hair. Tell me I need a haircut.
Your hair is too long.
Hey, Grizzly Adams, what's up?
But as for Vic, yeah, but he even in the letter he said you're probably not going to believe me, and I'm going to go away because nobody's going to want me around. Nobody's going to watch his show. So, I feel in some ways I feel sorry for him, but if he did do it, I don't. It's a conflict in me because
you're conflicted interest. I don't know.
The thing with Vic, and the only thing I could say to him really, and this sounds so cheesy and cliche, but he's got to get in touch with Jesus. The only way he's going to get around this, through this, over this, under this is with the guidance of the Holy Spirit. And that gets preachy. I don't want to tell anybody that, especially someone who makes a living drawing naughty girls. But dude, you know what I'm saying? I don't know any other way to get out of something like that. And that's not a way out. That's just a way through. If you're going to know peace, you got to know peace. Just, it's just, what else can you, I don't know what else I would possibly be able to say, because, it's not a chance I would take as a publisher. I wouldn't, I see my friends getting out of it. I don't want to jump into it.
The thing is, he could technically still do his own stuff. I'm not sure whether that means, what that means for Beowar, for all those people. All those people seem to be out the money.
Oh, they'll never get it. It's gone.
Yeah, because I don't think he's going to end up fulfilling, especially now. Not that I was expecting him really to fulfill.
No one would want it anyway. I mean, you can keep my money. You can keep my money. I don't want that stupid shirt. I'll burn it.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very painful kind of thing, and it's not because like he did anything to anybody personally, but that kind
at
of
least not anybody that we know.
Yeah.
Personally. And also another thing I must mention in the letter that he said that the one of the two girls that said about stuff has recanted too.
Well,
so that bears a little bit of weight to what he's said.
Well, only if it's true, because like we don't know which girl, and she hasn't come out and said it, right? It's him saying she recanted.
Well, no, she said that she publicly or whatever towards the courts recanted.
Okay, so where? Like there must be a record of it.
I think that's what he meant. I don't know the full situation. Obviously, I'm not going to dive into it like Vicky or whatever,
But see, I am messing with you a little bit now. But that would be my question to him. I would be like, okay, so if she's done this publicly, where can we find it? Because I'm sure that made the news.
I think
that wouldn't make the news.
Of course it would.
There would be
His going to jail made the news. His coming into the community made the news. They were watching him like a hawk. Beowar is no different than Artifice, Reanimate, or Canadian Tussle, LOL, or most of #CG. Bought multiple orders from Chris and Diana and got them back right away. Thank you. But that does lead to an interesting question, because some people believe we're a comic skate and other people, no way are they comic skate. And I've never made a public statement. I just go by what I believe in.
Intense. For Canadian Tussle, I'll say you're going to get that. Unfortunately, it's going to be late. Unfortunately, Dillard has gotten involved in another major project. He's working for Yellow Flash, or working with Yellow Flash. They've become
I love how I can't agree with Intense. How lumping together everybody with a convicted, a file. That's just stupid.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the same kind of excuse they use to hate on CG. Is like, okay, if you don't like it, don't back the books. I mean,
Well, I hate ever saying that. Like, I will never say, if you don't like, don't read my books. Because every time I hear that, I think of that redheaded woman.
Comic
or whatever her name is. If you don't like my politics, don't read my book.
What I mean, let me clarify.
I'll just say, if you don't like my concept, don't read my book.
Clarify. I was about to clarify, and you cut me off.
Sorry.
All right. I was gonna say, I mean, if you feel like you've been burned by too many creators, then you have the option of not giving them your money again. But don't lump everybody together in one pot. That's just.
Well, I mean, you can, but that's going to waste a lot of juice.
And I don't want to be part of a human stew.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think sort of what Intense is saying, or what I would say, any creator, you're taking a chance.
Yeah.
Because unless they have a proven track record, and
or the thing is, how do they get a proven track record unless you try? I can tell you, 7 out of 10 of the books I buy, I like, and I'm satisfied with the delivery and the timing and everything. The other 3, they were late, or they were total crap. I won't tell you how many Vic had involvement in, but he was at least in 1.5 of them. And it's just like, I don't care. Like, that'll stay on my shelf, whatever, like I won't burn it unless I need a fire starting stick, and my wife buys those. So, but it's just like, it's not even worth my energy. Like, it's one of 1,000 books that I have sitting there now.
Yeah, and I hate to say it, I'm not sure what your comic collection is like, but you just happen to know one thing about this creator. How many of your other, hundreds or thousands of comics do you not know anything about the creators that could be involved in something very similar?
I background checked all of them yesterday. They're all fine. No, I don't know. That's the truth. But it's just weird because, like, that is one thing that Hero Shack Press is blessed on, is other than the troll book, everybody, and even there, everybody but you is related. So it's all on you, Rick. You can never do anything wrong. But the troll book, like, other than that, I've had really no involvement with other people. So I was a bit insulated from this, but doesn't mean I don't sympathize and realize that, the seriousness of it, if it hits you that hard.
The only thing that I have at this point from Vic is the one trading card for my Snowdrift character. I have like 200 of them made up. I may print more up if I need to. Like, I'm not going to worry about it. His name's not big on it or whatever. I just won't advertise that.
A little whiteout dropped on the art before you made the plates. Oops. No.
I just won't simply advertise.
I hate it when big companies do that. Like, they'll occasionally drop something out and get the artist's signature off the original so they can reprint it. Tim, I agree with you. I don't know why you're typing that.
Well, because you were talking, so I
talk over us, Tim.
Personally, make sure that people get the books they back from me. Yeah, same here.
Yeah,
I think us all do.
Right.
Yeah.
It was a kick in the head the night that Dillard was here, though, and I was like, "Yeah, late books suck," and he's like, "Hey, man, I'm 6 months late on my book," and I was like, because Dillard's awesome.
Yeah, and that's and we get them to people in a timely manner, I would think.
Read the whole book. Which book?
The good book.
Well, yeah, you should always read the Bible. But which book?
Rick, I did something. Read your parts in the Trolls book. I'm not sure what you mean. Trolls Exposed.
You must have read your story in the Troll book.
Is that what you're saying? You read my part in the Trolls?
Post the link to Trolls.
Oh, Trolls Exposed. Okay.
Yeah.
They got at the end of the book, they get arrested.
There was a lot of stuff in that book. Honestly,
well, you've got that up.
I'm so grateful for the experience.
You've got that up on Fund My Comics, right? So maybe put a link in the description.
Oh,
you got a link in the description. Oh, he wants.
No, I don't have a link for that. I have a link for the Great Cyclopean 7, which is freaking cool. We're funded, and I'm telling you, I'm scared about Tuesday night. Let me see.
Oh, when you go to talk to all those people, or
yeah, man, they're yeah.
Is that the one at the other school, or are you meeting up with?
No, this is my buddies and stuff. This is Mantown. I'm going to meet Mantown. I don't know if hang on, I might have to do this differently. I don't know. Did it send it through? Yeah, it did.
It's through.
I sent that through. I sent that through StreamYard.
Is that Trolls Exposed, or is that?
That is Trolls Exposed. Yes.
This is the redone cover for Melvin.
Or you can get Trolls Exposed off your website, right?
No, it goes straight to the Fund My Comic.
Oh, okay. So you don't have it on your website anymore?
No, and I'm trying to make
it goes to
there. And really, I want to move the troll book to the store because there's absolutely no sales on that yet. Actually, let me just
Well, there
stop for
might
a
be.
second. Look at how beautiful this is. Whose art is this?
This is Rob Ewing's art. I'm having to redo the pages. And this is
nice.
Yeah.
Now I can see why people were killing for her.
Hey, yeah.
Weren't they killing if they looked at her?
Oh, yeah. It was supposed to be like it's kind of like they're committing a sin, so therefore they had to be murdered or something.
She was a very beautiful young lady. I understand. I'm just playing, man. I'm having fun.
But
It's Friday night, and I haven't even shilled the book, so I guess I should say the link is at the top of the chat. The Great Cyclopean is an awesome story. It's on issue 7. We're going up to 12, and then we're going to decide the next 12 issues. And Rick wants to say something. I can see him going, well.
I think you need to pin it in both chats because I don't think it's pinned in the Chris one.
That's okay. People can find it. I'm not that urgent. It's Friday night. After all, it's Friday Night Tights night, right? So they already suck up like 100,000 views. I don't know if Ethan's streaming, but he probably is. He gets 3,000 himself. That leaves about, 3 for us. No. I'm okay though because I'm turning this into a habit. I'm going to be doing this nightly, even if it's just for an hour, even if it's a half hour. I've already thought, what happens on that night when nobody's on? Well, I'll talk for a half hour and disappear. Yeah, I'm not going to waste my time, but I will be here nightly.
Yeah, I'm thinking of maybe you get 20 hours for free with StreamYard, right?
No, I bought it. I don't know how many we get.
Oh, when you buy it, you have indefinite. But I'm thinking I might.
That's why I have that special logo up there, the H. Otherwise, they make you do the StreamYard one, don't they?
Yeah. No, I'm just sort of asking at the same time because I'm thinking I might start doing a weekly, maybe Monday noon show again. At least till I start working.
Guitar and sing for everybody.
Remember High Noon and how awesome that intro was? Awesomely bad.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to have that right away if I do it. I'm gonna even have to come up with a title.
You can put stuff on AI in 30 seconds.
Yes, but can AI? I think of something as awesomely awful as Lizzie Livered.
Lizzie Livered.
It's Lily Livered.
Or Lily Livered. I forget how
that's why it's awesomely bad because you say Lizzie Livered.
I'll be back in 1 minute. Can you guys talk for a minute?
Sure.
No. I'm gonna go get my iPad so I can do something real quick, but I need to. It's in the kitchen. Hang on.
We'll think of a topic. Hero Shack is neither hero nor a shack. Discuss.
He's not shacking anybody.
Oh jeez. Oh jeez. What's wrong with you?
So that hero ain't shacking anybody.
So what you been up to, Rick? Did you
Well, I went out for an interview today that I didn't get.
Oh damn.
I had an interview set up at Walmart.
Small Mart.
Yeah, that's my nickname for Walmart. My mock nickname.
So how do you think that's gonna go?
Well, no, I don't know. I was supposed to have it today.
Oh shoot!
It was supposed to be at 11:30. I got there. The woman that I was supposed to be interviewing with wasn't even in the store. They asked me to come back at 3. I said, "Oh, sure, no problem." So I figured.
You came back at 3?
Yep, or for 3. Just like 10, 15 minutes beforehand.
And she wasn't there either, huh?
Well, no. Apparently, all the managers were in some sort of meeting.
Well, shoot.
So I didn't get my interview. And the guy was saying, "Can I stick around for an hour?" And I said yes initially. Although, by the time he was done with the phone call. I wasn't sure whether I should stay or go. I left.
Oh
I'll
shit.
try. I'll try and reschedule tomorrow.
Yeah, you better get a hold of him and see if you can get another one.
Yeah, it's frustrating because I spent you know an hour getting there, or 45 minutes getting there, 45 minutes getting back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, 10 swallows is right. At least you didn't get rejected.
Well, I didn't get a chance to get rejected. I'm not sure whether that's better or worse.
Have you checked out that People Ready in Canada? Because you
I'm
can,
not sure.
it's because they do temp jobs. At least you can get some temp work while you're looking.
Yeah, possibly. Even temporary agencies nowadays are hard to get into. You got to go through the whole process. You almost have to go through to get a regular job. But
Yeah, there has to
obviously,
be.
the two interview jobs I interviewed for last week, obviously, I haven't got those because I was supposed to hear back from them this week, and I didn't. I have an interview at McDonald's next Thursday, and that's just up the road. So,
There you go. Yeah, don't give up.
well, I'm not going to give up. It's just
Frustrating. I get you.
you go for this interview. You get all prepared. You're there on time, and then they screw up.
Yeah.
They can't, be more professional. What do I expect out of Walmart? I expect Walmart to be very professional.
That depends.
Oh, from what I know, they're better here in Canada than they are in the States from the horror stories I've heard.
Oh,
In the
I don't know.
States.
The states treat them real well. I really don't know, but I've heard the horror stories too. All right, so I'm waiting. I'm messing around now. I'm going to present something to you guys in a few seconds here.
I'm scared.
It's very important. So how are you? Glory be to
Well,
God. Here we go. All right, you ready?
I guess so.
Any moment now.
That sounded horrible.
We don't see anything or hear anything.
Nope.
We don't see or hear anything.
I
What's
hear.
that?
I
We don't
hear.
see or hear anything.
I hear something. I hear drums. It sounds like a death metal track.
It was, but it was. Hang on, I'll try it one more time and I'll do it differently. Hang on. All right, so I'm going to do this and okay. All right. So I'll try to make this more clear. Okay, hang on. All right. So hit submit. Submit. I'm throwing stuff into AI to make a theme song for our chat. I got to maybe work on the microphone here. Let me get this down. It takes about 30-40 seconds for them to do a quick.
Oh, which place are you using?
It's on Discord.
Oh, okay.
Suno, Suno.
Oh, okay. They have a website too.
Yeah, that's how I got here, and this is where RJ discovered it because I showed it to him. But
Canadian shield is cool, but Melvin's Smoking is the greatest. Canadian shield is cool, but Melvin is way crazy cool.
it's dumb. But you can do all sorts of crap.
Yeah, I know I've made a few on my. Well, I've got a few more on my computer. Yeah, my cousin's back in Ontario.
I
I
wasted
actually I did a couple
I'm sorry.
shows. I did a couple shows showing them off.
I spent money on some sort of subscription, so I have like it's not unlimited, but I have like all sorts of credit each month to go in and make as many as I want. So I mess with it, and it's not the best, but I kind of feel like, well, at least I kind of have an idea what people are doing. The art ones are just no, I'm not doing it. I'm
No.
drawing. I'm loving what I do. But I get the temptation. I get why people
Yeah,
do
well,
it.
the art ones are shit.
It's gonna get better. The
Well, the
question
thing
is
is,
it
the art
legal?
ones, if you're doing well, the art ones, in my opinion, um, there's no way that you could. Well, I know some people are doing a comic with them. I've heard that, but I don't know how because, like, I've fooled around with them a couple times trying to get certain images, and
Well, they may have some sort of algorithm or keywords that work the same. They might know something we don't, but that still
yeah.
doesn't make for a good comic. It makes it just doesn't. It's
Well,
like
a
there's
lot
a
of
lot
the
more
art that
to it than pretty pictures.
yeah, a lot of times I've seen, it can produce some great looking pictures. I won't take that away from it, I guess. But
Well, they look great at least initially. I always crack up because first thing I do is I start looking for fingers because that's always a fun thing with them. And
yeah,
there's usually some imperfection there, but you can see stuff like it's just telltale. You look at it, it's like you can tell when a woman's had some sort of weird plastic surgery.
yeah. Like my cousin was playing around with it. She tried to get it to do a cat with two heads. It wouldn't do a cat with two heads. It would just always do two cats.
Maybe it knows better. It's like, nah, that's illogical. Huh, I don't know. I see. I don't know enough about it. I know it's getting scary. They can do full motion video. Open AI had an article out. They are capable of doing up to 60 seconds of live motion that looks incredible. I mean, you're giving it keywords, like they obviously did something like walking through a Chinese market on the street, and they had a drone follow a couple down through the market. It looked real as could be. It's getting worse, which means it's getting better, but that means it's getting worse because anything
Yeah.
is going to be possible for them to fake out.
Well, although that may gives you some more things, I think, for Revelation, the image of the beast.
Yeah, yeah. We could be getting close. I mean, every generation thinks so, but eventually somebody's going to be right.
Yeah, well, I think we're close because Israel has become a nation. That's a key, I think,
Yeah, but they've been a nation
prophecy.
since the 40s. So
Yeah, but it says that generation shall not pass away. Now depends on what you take that as. As long as there's somebody living from who was born in the 1947 or 48,
48.
48, that means that generation technically hasn't passed away. So,
Well, I mean, most of them are gone.
not necessarily. Well, 60.
How many World War II vets are still around?
I didn't say World War II veteran. Somebody born in
Well, I mean,
1948.
well, 48 would be post World War II. Right.
Yeah, and born then, just born in 48. 60 years was only 20 years ago. So I guess they'd be about 80 now. No, not quite 80.
I don't know. That's an interesting question. Something to consider. Ooh. I just figured out the problem. Look, my background's no longer blurry.
There you go.
A serious thought I had to invoke the name of Jesus while asking for forgiveness.
Yeah, the world is crazy. Got to watch out for the crazy stuff in the world.
Yeah. I wouldn't say AI is evil. Like anything, it's just a thing that can be used for good or bad.
Well, it all depends on how you're using it and what you're using it for. Like,
Yeah.
I will say this: if I was going to take audio AI and manage to make a CD out of it and sell it as if I did it, that would be just as much crap as if I ran a script through a comic maker AI. But like doing little crappy, things, or someone who wants to make a flyer for their plumbing company or something. I don't care. You're advertising. If you can't afford a big New York studio, God bless you for having the idea to try something else. It's a doggy dog world. I'm just fed up with arguing because all the masters were cheating. Everybody that I respect cheated at some point. And I'm like, wait a minute, you mean you didn't like do that, freehand? Like it's horrifying, even though you still have to have the skills. Painters still have to know how to have technique, and they still have to know how to trace what they're tracing and all the stuff they have to do. There's a craft to it. It's not the same as what I perceived.
Yeah, well, as I said the other night, maybe they traced a body form if they were able to find somebody in the pose that they needed.
But some did worse. Like some would actually hire a model and photograph them and then trace the photo. It's like, all right, that's just not fair. If you can hire like, someone with great muscles to pose for you and you get the perfect shot, and that's cheating. That's worse than having 3D software.
Guess what?
What?
Alex Ross did that. He got people to pose in costumes.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
and then painted.
Yep. But imagine if, like, you hired somebody who was super huge. You got Lou Ferrigno in a Canadian Shield costume. You took a picture, and you traced it, and you painted it. Yes, it would be freaking awesome. But it's not the same as if Rick just sat down with a paintbrush and said, "Oh."
Well, Alex Ross doesn't, I think, trace their image. He just, looks at them or takes a picture and then looks at it,
No, I think he's tracing. I think he's using every trick in the book. But that's because I've become like this believer that everybody's cheating. Like the only one I've seen that really does it badass is Jim Lee. I've seen Jim Lee sit down and draw a whole cityscape just to prove he could.
Well, Alex Ross has done some things on his YouTube channel. He has a YouTube channel that he shows himself doing.
I'll have to check him out. I'll have to look, yeah. Maybe we can EFAP him.
I don't think he does anything live, but
well, we could EFAP. Well, what would that be then? Not EFAPing a video.
That might be EFAP because the other way is sniping.
Well, what are we talking about?
Alex Ross. If we were to watch one of his videos, would that be sniping or EFAPing or just watching one of his videos? I don't know.
We could do it for
I might
review.
I might get a copyright strike because I did play Extreme #Rebel, and I think I'm gonna tickle the copyrights every night and try to put an Extreme song in the beginning of my show because I don't think they're getting enough credit. They are the greatest band on earth, and their 6th album, Extreme 6, has so many gold tracks, and I'm like, why don't people know about them? Because well, heavy rock isn't really in vogue right now, but it should be. It should be.
So is I'm seeing the chat from, I think, your Chris channel. Is anybody in the other chat?
Well, I see Intense Webs and just me. I don't see anybody else. I don't see nobody else right now. Let's see. I don't even know what channels I'm turned into for my my Chrome. I'm just like flying by the seat of my pants tonight. As you see, Diana never made it. When I went out to grab my iPad, she was asleep on the couch. I said, "Hey, yo, it's 9:46." She went, "I'm up. I'm up." So I'm letting her sleep. I'm like, all right, yeah, she's worn out. I don't know.
That's all right.
She's like in shock that I'm doing it. But when I met her, I was like chatting 7 nights a week in a God chat, like for hours a night. So she's like, oh no, he's doing it again. Yes, this time I have video. When we met, I was all tech.
Do you feel abandoned by Diana?
No.
Are you gonna become a Japanese mob boss because of your loneliness?
I might do that, but not because of her. I might do it just because I like the Japanese culture. Oh, we must save face. I take $1 salary. Like they do some ballsy stuff, like Nintendo. Their execs, like I forget if they took $1 or if they cut their salaries in half. But when sales went down, they all took cuts to keep morale up, and I was like,
"Oh, they committed harakiri."
No, they didn't kill themselves, but they. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. They took pay cuts.
Yeah, and God forbid any company here in the West do that.
It's never that case. Our company's going bankrupt. We did get all the bonuses out before we declared. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you know what? Business capitalism. I love capitalism at the core, but I hate these the way they express things. Like, if I put my book out and I say that I want to make $10,000, but I ask for 5 and I get 5, I'll then tell my everybody else that I did a $5,000 loss because I projected 10. You don't lose. No, that's not. I don't get that. But I don't get when they do that. Like they'll say a movie should have made $500 million or whatever, and because it made 300,000, they're like it lost 200 million at the box office. Yeah, but it didn't lose it. You never had it. You thought you were going to get it. You didn't get it.
Usually, when they say something like that, I think it's more not so much projection. It's more because of how much they spent on producing it and advertising and all that they didn't make the money back. They needed to make 500,000 to break even.
You know what that is? I'm playing a ballad for Disney. And Warner Brothers. Oh my God, yeah. Well, I don't know if it's the world's smallest because I've seen people with smaller fingers pull this off. Tim's muted again. I feel bad, like we've shut him out.
He shut himself off.
No, I was watching this. Have you ever seen Community? I was actually referencing it. There's the dean who obviously has some, I don't know, he constantly inappropriately hits on the main character, Jeff Winger. And he thinks he's in a text with him, but he's actually in a text with a teenager from Japan who's just messing with him. And so he comes at the end. He comes clean and he's like, "Hey, I'm not Jeffrey." And then he's like, "I'm not the dean." He's getting yelled at by his dad. And the fact that he was kind of like abandoned by the dean, he becomes like the most brutal Japanese mob boss in history.
I think Diana's watching.
Everyone, don't move.
I hear you in the living room. Oh, yeah, she's definitely watching. I heard it.
I'm scared.
Hey, I'm going to clip
I was
that.
scared there.
I'm going to clip that, man. I'm going to run it in slow motion. Tim on his side looking at the camera.
You motherfucker.
I
mean, no.
You need a remote electric shock contraption for
when
panel
guests misbehave. Well, I did think about bringing in somebody to mess with us who could zap us if we were boring or talking too long and put us in a timeout box and all that. But it's too involved, and I don't have anybody that would be a good candidate. And I don't know if people could take it. I would think it could be funny, but it might also piss me off if everybody's in the penalty box. It's like, we can't talk. We're all in penalty. What the hell? It's a lot of control to offer somebody over your show. And it takes a special personality. I mean, who would you pick? Who could you hire to do that you could afford? No, I wouldn't pick Diana because Diana would just shut us all down. And then she'd want to hand us a ping pong ball so we could talk. She's worked in small groups. She has techniques. Well, no, she would make it digital. She would turn on the little light or something, and yeah, oh look, okay, Rick can talk. Oh look, there's a counter. Rick, you only have 12 seconds. And now it's Tim's turn.
Here,
That's
Chris,
what she
catch. Oh,
She would
Tim,
do that
catch.
though. She would literally shut us down and rotate. She's not saying anything, but I am hearing her. The talking
No, you're
stick.
hearing yourself on the TV.
I am. I'm kind of like getting the ballpark echo. Now playing at first base, Chris. Because I'm up there in the corner. There. No, there. I'm over here. I can see
Went that
myself.
away.
Hey, do you see what I'm holding? This is the coolest thing. So this is a Phillips screwdriver that comes with every projector bulb that I change. And I think I'm going to add it to my keychain. It's the handiest little thing to have. And if I lose it, it's not that big of a deal because I don't, it comes with a product that I have hundreds of. I'm
So
really
you have
in
hundreds
awe.
of them?
Well, no, not personally, because each light bulb comes with one. So it's like people are throwing them away because there's so many of them. I'm like, yeah, I'll take one. This is awesome. And then I take another if I lose one. There's a whole pile of them.
Like intense.
They just
This is why Diana will always be the better half.
Where is she? Well, she's got prettier hair than I do. And I have these eyebrows. I keep seeing them and I'm like, I should probably cut that down. I look like a Muppet. No wonder kids like me. Speaking of kids, Diana's working on my appearance in the other school district.
Let me guess. She's putting a bag over your head and drawing a smiley face.
No. From what I understand, she wants me to emote to the children.
Well, the problem
All about comics.
problem is
Is
the
that- is
kids
that-
even know what a Muppet is anymore.
Is that what you're gonna say when you walk out there? Hi, can I emote comic books to you?
It would be funny because I might start that way. Like when I deal with crowds of kids, you got to know, you got to play with the crowd a little bit and feel where they're at. Like sometimes the teachers have them tight and they're just there to listen, and other times you have jokers in the front row who are, ha ha ha, you look funny, whatever is going on. You got to play with that and get them interested so you don't lose them.
And we don't want to see any of them, Tim.
Typing. You heard so many shocking things. They've both heard. Oh no, there's so many shocking things. Well, the electric company is a call away. We can get rid of those shocking things. Speaking of shocking, Diana's not here, but I noticed somebody has been outside working on the side of my house. I think the electric company was here. They put a pole up the side of my house.
And then they turned to you and said, "Please tell Diana to stop working on the house."
Well, no, but the town did send us a cease and desist. She's not here, so she can't defend herself. But yeah, they told her she had to stop building that skyscraper in the backyard. Now she's probably steaming.
So you're saying the phone company was polling you?
Yeah, well, somebody did. I think it was actually the electric company, because it goes down. They may have installed a new meter. I haven't gone over and inspected it closely. I just noticed the pipe tonight. And I said, that pipe is up the backside of my house. I don't like it. Who put the pipe there? Who laid pipe on my house?
Ew.
It has to be the electric company because it goes up to the electric transformer. And I remember before it was a spare wire. What's that?
Did it get you piping mad?
Yeah, well, it used to be insulated wire, which all they did was add this pipe to run it down to the thing. But I'm like, they used to just have that up there and it just came down. Now it's got a pipe thing. And it's white. My house is green with tan trim. It's not white. That looks ugly.
I'll spray paint it.
I might have to. Or you know what? I could side it. I have enough siding. I could go out there and just side the pipe. You know, fold it, bend it, and tuck it around. That would work well. I'm sure that it would bend just fine for a pipe that's 3 inches, in diameter.
Well, that's why you cut it in pieces.
What's that?
You cut it in pieces.
Yeah.
To go
I'd have
around.
to mix all the way around it. Or I could just take, it's white PVC. I could probably take it to Home Depot or Lowe's and have them just match the color of the siding and then just paint it. It's just, if I got to paint it, I got to get on I'd have to get on a ladder anyways. It's like 20 feet in the air. It's not that bad.
Demo Diana to do it.
No. She doesn't, I don't like her on ladders or stoves or anything. She crawls up everything. She is deficient in the height department, but she's very capable and works her way around. I've seen her balance herself on a Coke bottle.
Yeah.
So she could reach something on the top shelf. No, not quite that bad, but she will climb shelves in the grocery store. She will, step on moving carts and just kind of glide down the aisle and grab everything on the top shelf that she needs.
That's when you bring a boom box and you play the Indiana Jones theme song.
That's right. She's Massachusetts Jones. She's not here to defend herself. This is great.
Massachusetts Melissa.
No, see, the problem is if she's watching, you're just going to get in trouble later, Chris.
Delaware Diana.
She'll be sleeping. All I have to do is
she'll wake up. She'll wake up eventually.
No, well, it's kind of cool because once I get off the air, I'll go out to the kitchen and the patrol starts. I'm patrolled continuously by 3 cats that are quite vicious. Then I'm backed up by a 37-pound dog. And then there's a wild card Chihuahua who might bite me, might bite Diana, might bite a cat. We don't know, but she's just doing her own thing. The Chihuahua's gone crazy. She's a senior citizen and it shows. And it's like Joe Biden ain't got nothing on Tiny.
It'd be funny if the dog starts biting itself.
She has, but not she hasn't drawn blood on her. She's drawn blood on Diana. She's drawn blood on me. She's probably drawn blood on the other animals, but we haven't seen it. Yeah, I giggle a lot. And you know what? I do it at work. It's funny because they'll be trying to, not reprimand us, but kind of address a serious issue. And I'm sitting at the meeting table. And they're like, I'm like, sorry. What's so funny? The way you said that, dude, was funny.
I could just imagine you with Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, he would love me. Because he would. I'm a likable guy. I might be laughing at him, but by the end, he'd be laughing with me. I'd be like, come on, bro, let's go talk. It's funny. We can be friends.
Yeah, but
get out of my kitchen. All right, chill.
He's giving you a reprimand and you start laughing.
My mom, God, I used to think of how bad I was, but that was really the worst because she would yell at me. I'd sneer and giggle. And she'd be like, all right, that's it. I'm getting the belt. And I would giggle right up until the time I'd be like, oh, God. I don't know what it is, Maybe it's a defense mechanism. Like God doesn't want me to go psycho, so he makes me laugh.
Nervous laughter.
Maybe
it's not really nerves either. It's weird.
Maybe you're like the Joker in that recent Joker movie where it's like some kind of neurological thing.
Yeah, I need to get a card. Please forgive my laughasitis. I can't help myself. You ugly. On the other side of the card.
You want to see you funny?
So speaking of the Joker, anybody getting excited about the Joker 2?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen the Joker 1.
No.
Oh, I like Joker 1, but this one's going to be a musical with Lady Gaga. And that instantly makes me think, probably not for me. Now, she's done some amazing things. Maybe it'll be great, but I'm not really a fan of, Mama Bapala.
Are you serious? That's what they're planning?
It stars, of course, the same guy. What's his face? He reprises the role of the Joker, and I think she's playing a Harley Quinn.
If they do that,
and it's supposed to be a musical, so yeah, it sounds so freaky. It's probably going to be good because it's so far out there. But who knows? It could be Barbie for Joker.
It can't be a musical. No way.
I know it doesn't make sense. But whenever I think it's going to absolutely suck, it turns out to be like the next Guardians. Guardians 1 was like the best freaking movie when it came out. I loved it. I still have a fondness for it, but it doesn't have the lasting power of, say, Star Wars.
Yeah. I'm interested in seeing Deadpool 3.
Yeah, same here. I almost saw Madam Web today.
You're a sick man. You are a sick man. You know what? I told Diana, I said, she was talking about movies to go to, and we mentioned Madam Web. And I said, you know who's going to go see that, right? Oh, I said, Rick. I said, you're going to ask. He's going to already have seen it. Why do you think that?
Yeah.
Every movie that comes out, that we're like, I don't know if I'm going to. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go see The Flash. Rick is like, saw it twice. What? Yeah,
I only saw that once.
But you know what I mean? It's like,
yeah.
You should probably do movie reviews. You see enough of them.
Yeah, I should. I just don't like spoilers,
It depends. What are you tracing?
Or why are you tracing?
Footsteps. If you lost your keys, tracing can be wonderfully good.
Well, it's a good way to start to get to know somebody, get to muscle memory, as they say.
And of course,
but the thing is, why I didn't go see it is I was at there was a theater by the Walmart, so to waste some time between movies, I went in or between supposed interviews. I went in there and I went to go see it, but it's in a special theater and they wanted $19.
Wow.
I was like, no.
No popcorn?
So I ended up, I don't buy that at movie theaters, but I so at that point.
I mean, at that price, I'm like, you better have some popcorn or something for me.
Yeah. But I'm like, nope. I thought it was going to be $13 and that would be too bad. That would be too atrocious just for me for that.
Okay, that's not the one I was looking for. Let me see. I'm trying to find the one.
It looks like Diana's in the other chat, eh?
Oh, I see her saying stuff. She said is tracing bad, but she hasn't said anything else.
Yeah,
I think she's mad at me. She's listening. I'm in trouble. That's what that means. I'm just listening, taking notes. You thought you were going to have dinner tonight? I don't think I've eaten yet, but I do have food that I can eat. I came home for lunch and made a full meal and then put it in the fridge practically. But I was hungry and didn't want to waste money. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to find what I'm looking for, but I think it's from one of the old classic guys, Woody. What's his name? The artist. Shoot, I got to find it now. It's going to kill me. I think it might be on my iPad, so I'll just transfer it over.
Diana says I am here. Hello. Yep.
I don't think she's listening anymore. I don't believe her. I got to make her feel guilty for not coming in. It's so lonely without you, Diana. She's ignoring me, I bet.
Fell asleep. Yep.
I got to find this.
I'm
Here we go.
You are. You are fresh here. Oh,
I am.
I think I think that's supposed to be OMG.
Yeah, she might be
It's,
saying OMG.
you might be a bit behind because we
I
weren't.
think Tim snores. Tim, did you fall asleep?
Oh. No, I didn't fall asleep. You fell asleep.
Nobody fell asleep. I hope. That would
No.
mean that would be bad if our panel started falling asleep. We don't even drink. What kind of bad boys are we? You know, like usually when people are passing up, they're so drunk, they're like, boom. Not us. No, we're just nerds.
It would mean
If you'd
we're
like,
old,
I
old
could
nerds.
I could start drinking, pass out in mid sentence, and then continue on right after I come to.
You could be the Cecil of the stream. You could be the Dale Keown of the stream.
No, I have to start belly aching about Mandy. Mandy,
It could be about horsemen. You could whine about horsemen.
What?
Horsemen.
No, I don't have no idea what you're talking about. I was talking about Mandy Summers. That's
I'm
the
talking about
woman that he's
horsemen.
always.
Yeah, I know Mandy Summers is the one he always goes for, but I'm just trying to bring some Eric July humor into it.
Oh, well then
Horseman.
Eric July has terrible humor.
I'm looking forward to the
Well,
Horseman.
dude,
Though. I thought it was a new series.
Oh, do remote electric shock for panel guests. Yes, but how are you going to get into their house to set it up?
No, we could just mail out a USB hub that plugs into your computer, and it could attach like to your finger. Oh, that could be the price for the password, or for the link. You get the link, but you have to be hooked in to get in. Like you don't type in, and then if you mess up, like the judge, like we could make intense webs that you could just have the zapper over wherever he is, plug that into the USB of his computer. They all connect.
The intense Webitron.
I don't think you could work it that way.
You could. I'm sure you could. We could do it all by the machine number. It's like a serial number, and through IP, like remote access stuff, you could go right to the USB and you could shock each other. It could be fun. I mean, they play games with controllers. It could surely do that.
Right.
I bet you we could make them for like 50 cents a piece and charge 200 each in America. That's capitalism.
Intense is like, give me the button.
Absolutely, brother.
Shock them all.
It could be like, you know how like you train your dog? Okay. He could teach us how to do a good stream whenever we F up. But we'd have to have a Morse code thing going on so he could tell us what's wrong. Stop with all that stupid grinning. You'd see me. I can't really do a good shiver, can I? Yeah, Rick's got it better than I do. Rick, don't do that. That would suck if like something happened while you were doing that. Boom. That would be scary.
What did he do again?
He does like this shake, like he's having a seizure, about to go like in an alien spaceship and get probed. It's horrifying.
Or getting electrifying.
No, I saw probes for sure. You don't need to do that. The aliens are coming. They're coming for you. If they see that, they're going to think there's a perfect victim. We want him. And believe me, they watch this stream. I know the aliens watch this stream. I can tell.
Yes, they do. They're all in Mexico.
Dude, there are UFOs outside my house. Now, that doesn't mean they're extraterrestrial. I just don't know what they are. I have not identified all these flying objects. We don't have an airport close enough. But I can tell you, we do have military that flies overhead. I've seen like jet fighters, and I've seen helicopters. And the helicopters are spooky because they'll do like a passover. It's probably 500 feet, but it feels like it's 7 feet from your head. These big transport ones that they do drills and stuff with them. Those
any UDOs?
I don't know what that. Oh, Yu-Gi-Oh, the cards.
No, UDO.
What's a UDO?
Unidentified driving object.
No, we don't act. No, But I wouldn't mind seeing something military on the ground. They always are intriguing.
Or UWO, unidentified walking object.
We have some of those in my town. But I don't take it. I don't venture to guess. I'm like, well, they're standing on two legs. That's got to be a good sign. We joke, but who knows what walks among us?
All right.
I have no idea.
And I'm just making up these terms. I don't know what.
Would you be surprised to find out if there were extraterrestrials like among us, living among us, or?
Yes and no.
Yeah, I would.
I know a lot of Christians would poo-poo on me, but I do believe in life on other planets. Now, whether they're visiting us or not, that's a different question altogether.
It depends on how you want to approach angels, because that's just a very basic. Angel is a messenger.
Right.
Yeah.
They're not human, so they're kind of alien already.
Life,
Here's the question: were angels made on Earth?
Maybe not human looking like us, but
were angels created on Earth?
I would say no. Probably in heaven.
I would say no too, because there's never any speak of them being anywhere near Earth when they were created, and they were before the Earth, if we believe the way that it reads in various scriptures. So they would technically be extraterrestrial to our planet. Like, I can see angels being all sorts of things that we think, there's an unidentified object. Now that was just a chariot of Ezekiel going by, and we don't know what it looks like because the writings are so obscured and blurred by the visions of people and translations, and but how do we know? We don't really know. So I hold on to all these things. Like, I heard Jimmy Carter found out the truth about UFOs, and supposedly he cried heavily weeping because of the horrific truth that the American government is hiding from the American people. But I thought to myself, there's nothing that could break my faith in Christ. They could come down and show me how they wrote his whole story and how fake he is, and I would be like, bullshit. No, I think you're just trying to trick me. I know, I've read the scriptures. Great deceivers. Get out of here.
Frankly, I think alien life on other planets would even more confirm,
Yeah.
And the reason I say that is because the chance of life just coming to being on Earth in one place is so astronomical that technically it's scientifically impossible.
However,
but then
it would be so like God to have us all come to the conclusion and him go, no, absolutely. I did all the universe. So that little pin on that little tiny speck of Earth, that's all I made for life. Everything else was spirit form that I allowed to exist, but they weren't physical. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if we were the only physical form in all the universe.
Yeah. We're boring, Tim.
I think he's sleeping. I'm clipping this. Tomorrow's promo is going to be the most exciting show on the streams.
But but as I was saying, if there was life on other planets, not angels, but beings like us, that physical beings that have a day-to-day life, if you will, the chances are nearly impossible of life coming on one planet, forming as you said, scientifically. If you add another planet, the more planets you add with life, I think the more scientifically impossible it becomes. Because getting life from non-life, there's no explanation for it.
But if we really are the only ones, oh my God, it's so crazy. Because you look at this.
It would be in some ways, yeah. Part of my reasoning for life on other planets is because I don't think God's that wasteful. Like, my God is a very
we perceive it as wasteful, but what if creating life in the physical realm thought of in a scientific sense, what if it required all of that to get the one little speck? And you might say, well, why would he do that? We have like super colliders that spin like one little tiny speck, a billion miles an hour, or whatever it is, so they can crack into it and go into quantum science with it and stuff. And I'm like, they created some element for like, it only created for like a tenth of a second or something, and then it dissipates into something else. But they're like, we saw it, we got it, we know it, and they'll eventually figure out how to capture that element. But it's like, what if it takes all that effort just to get a little tiny speck of something? You know, we might be God's amazing swan song because he managed to put us somewhere where life never existed anywhere, and he just has this huge. We don't know why.
But therein lies the thing: is it's God. He can create. He can create it. So yes, everything needs to be here just so this we can exist. But he could create it just as easily. So.
Well, we assume that, but what if in the balance this is just part of the mechanism that he used to do it?
Well, that's what I'm saying is it could be that that's the way that he's created it, but he could just have easily created it a different way. He is God.
Of course, there is the possibility that the new heaven and earth, he's just moving us to another planet that he's got set up just like it. Like, there's so many like interpretations that we could possibly pull from it.
Yeah, true.
I think he did that intentionally too, so we could like have something to chew on while we wait to die. Because
almost what's his name? C.S. Lewis sort of hints at that in the last, I think, the 7th book, the last battle, the final battle.
The 7th book. I wish I had like an introduction for that. That's where we should have music. Dun, 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 dun. The 7th book. Are you talking about in the Chronicle of Narnia thing?
Yeah, the Chronicles of Narnia. I'd like to see that one done. Well, I'd like to see them all done, but you know.
I think they did another one, but it was horrible, didn't they?
No, they've only done 3, I believe.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking of?
They've only done 3 for the big screen. There's the British series, which I think did 4 or 5 of them.
But I was thinking of the stupid one. They're all stupid. Where the precincts get together and fight. And Jennifer Lawrence was one of the heroes of it. She was the.
Oh, you mean the Hunger Games?
Thank you. They did a new one of that this last year, and supposedly it was cable bad. Like they released it and it was the worst.
I didn't find it that bad.
I didn't see it. So
I did.
I heard that Wolverine got Jean Grey pregnant. Listen, the snore stopped when I said that.
You making fun of me? Is that what's going on here?
All we had to do was mention Wolverine getting Jean Grey pregnant. Tim's awake. Wait, what? What? No. I know my lore. You know what's funny is he's short, and like people forget that because of the cinema.
Yeah, well, people don't know that. People that go to watch it and haven't read a comic book don't know that, anyways, or read his profile.
Oh, I keep thinking everybody's read them all. Damn. And then I haven't read 30 years of them, so what am I thinking? I just get mad because they don't know that it came out in 1963 and who the 5 members were.
Yeah, you don't know that Kitty Pryde and Jubilee are 2 different characters.
I did not know that, but come on, I knew the 5 originals.
Boom, right in your face.
Well, sort of in my face.
Meanwhile, you know, like you had the 80s series, or I think it only got one. With only one or 2 episodes, where there's a cartoon, Pride of the X-Men, which stars Kitty Pryde in there and Wolverine.
Yeah.
What if it's like the Bernstein Bears? Maybe it's like, you know how the Bernstein Bears aren't really Bernstein Bears or whatever. What do they call that?
The Bernstein Bears?
Like when everybody thought Mandela died and he was still alive. It's a memory that people have that doesn't exist.
Yeah, but that, you know, people.
Maybe that's what it is. Because other people thought Jubilee was Pride too. And I looked it up and read it. There were people going, really? I'd never thought. And yeah, really.
I never thought that. I knew that was wrong.
Yeah,
That's because
same
you
here.
were a specialist.
Yeah, it's something like that. I think is just a result of misinformation. You know,
Well, the next
somebody
thing they're going to tell me is Miles Morales is Spider-Man.
he's the
Actually,
fake
I don't
Spider-Man.
mind him as Spider-Man. I can say that proudly. I don't care.
I
Peter
don't
Parker
mind
is
him.
Spider-Man too.
Yeah, I don't mind Miles as Spider-Man in the main in hit where he took over for Peter. You
The
know,
thing I do mind though is Spider-Ham and all these freaking Spider-Gwen and Spider-Paul and Spider-Timmy and Spider whatever and Spider-Jack and Spider, you know what I mean? Like there's
well,
too many Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, Spider-Ham has existed longer than Miles Morales.
Yeah,
Yes, I
what's
know.
up?
I bought his first appearance. I remember it was Star Comics. I actually was there, and when I got it, I thought, okay, this is not good. This is actually I said it was gay because that was the thing back then. I went, this is gay, and I threw it away. And here he is, full
No, it
fire.
wouldn't.
They're trying to bring him back like Ricky Rocket, man. Oh, look how cool Spider-Ham is. He's in the cartoon. It's not funny. Warner Brothers has the only pig that should be in cartoons. Get lost, Spider-Ham.
What about Howard the Duck?
He's not a pig.
I know, but he's supposed to be funny.
He is funny. When I put him next to Donald Duck, I laugh my ass off.
Peter
I know he's not
Porker.
great, but he's funny.
Well, I'm not
Sort
sure how funny that Spider-Ham was supposed to be originally when they originally created
I think
him.
he was a total joke, and they were like, I don't know. Stanley would allow some weird things. Maybe he thought DC was going to have a Spider-Ham, so he thought he had to get the copyright first, but I didn't like it. I was like,
Well, yeah, maybe he was trying to. I know at one point DC has the Zoo Crew, you know, Captain Carrot and all that. So
yeah,
maybe Marvel tried to copy them.
maybe. I don't know, but I did not like it. It was not for me.
I've never
And
read a Spider Ham. I've known a Spider Ham, but I've never read a Spider Ham comic back from like I don't know.
yeah, with Peter
It's-
Porker, I believe that was what they did. They did like a spoof of all the names. Peter Porker was Spider-Ham's alias, and it was
Yeah.
just it was not good. I didn't like it. I did not
with
like it.
with back. I'm not sure when it was created, the 80s or whatever.
Late
Some of the
80s, early
Spider-Man,
90s.
the Spider-Man Noir was all right. In fact, there's a whole bunch of Noir characters that they did.
Noir.
Noir characters that they did, which is all right. And
Yeah, it's
you know,
all right.
it,
It's not
it
great.
was it was an interesting take. It was more like what if I think the Marvel characters, you know, were made in the 30s or whatever.
Wasn't that DC?
No, well, they probably done
Whoa.
something similar, but they did like Iron Man Noir and a whole bunch of them. I think X-Men Noir. Yeah, there's a whole series of them of all the characters.
Have you guys ever seen this book before?
The generic comic book? I don't think so.
Yes, I remember this as a kid. This was
No, I-
hilarious. It
The
was when
generic-
it was in the 80s when everything was generic white label with black, like they had all these versions and they all sucked. It was all food and like detergent and stuff. And Marvel came out with this. They came out with a generic comic. The a superhero, you know, sees all white, literally all white. It was pretty bad, but it was funny. We were just talking about Howard the Duck, and I remembered that, so I thought I'd look it up real quick.
Yeah.
I had to
Well,
see it to remember.
What I meant to
prove it.
say, I know you're talking about pig characters. I meant to say that Howard was a funny character, just like Spider-Ham. So
Well, Howard actually always had that adult slant, though, too, didn't he? He was kind of
probably.
like a ladies' man, and in the movie, he certainly was, but the movie didn't do very well.
No, it didn't.
Yeah, I'm
That
not
was
sure
just
what
weird.
Howard the Duck in the comic books originally was like. I'm not
They
sure.
even made fun of the I think it was Infinity War. They called it Infinity Wart.
Man. So what do you think, guys? Did we do good tonight? Should I go to bed?
Yeah,
I'm
because
not
I'm
sure whether you
crashing
should go to
too.
bed, but you can easily end if you want to.
No, I think I got to go to bed.
Although,
I'm starting to fall asleep, but
although it is
go ahead.
close to 11 for you.
Yeah, and my head hurts. Today was such a crazy day. But it's okay. I do believe that we do need comics for kids as well as everything
Well,
Oh
else
yeah,
that we're feeding
well,
as
I
an
mean, it
industry.
goes without saying if there's these books for adults, there has to be comic books for kids. It
Well, the
balances
thing
out.
is, the problem is if Marvel and DC really aren't catering to them, we have a problem because
They're not catering to anybody. That's the problem.
I
oh,
think they are. I think it
they are
starts with their
catering
writers.
to people that don't
Who
buy
though?
comics.
Well, I think they cater to each other, like themselves as creatives. Like,
You think this
they're
is just a
looking at what they
creative
perceive
jerking
to be
off?
the world's worst. What's that?
Do you think this is just some kind of creative jerking off?
In a way, they're
Yeah.
kind of like, well, I'm going to show people what it would be like or what it is like if so and so becomes bisexual. And then the next guy goes, yeah, well, I'm going to turn green finger person gay. And then the next person says, I'm going to do you out and I'm going to have this guy and that girl and this guy get together. It all just becomes kind of like, honestly, when they announce someone is gay now,
A
I'm
pissing
like,
contest.
yeah. And it's almost like, I'm like, what, that guy wasn't gay already? Like, I just assume they're starting everybody's at gay and they kind of like have to deconvert or something and go straight again because it's not a shock anymore. It's like they made Superman gay, and yes, I know it wasn't Clark Kent or Jor-El or whatever, but you
Yeah.
took your trademark character and represented him as gay. That's
Yeah.
fine, whatever you want to do, but that does change everything.
Yeah. And the problem is that they talk about representation. Well, now you're over representing.
Yeah, that is a problem. I've always wondered about ratios and stuff, but this DEI and whatever else is going on, it's not really about ratios. Then it's about flooding out white people so that they can get minorities in. And I understand the tactic because white people aren't going to go away with a simple, push for minorities. But if they push hard enough, it'll be something that will be lasting. You'll always have white people involved, but they're trying to spray back the extras.
Yeah, but they say about bringing so many white
I'm going to go
non-whites
to bed. I
into.
can't stay up any longer.
They say about
Hey,
bringing.
Tim.
What?
Thanks for coming, bro.
I tried to hang with you guys, but it's just like all of a sudden I'm just felt drowsy.
Don't
Yeah, no
forget, man,
problem.
kid books, man. Come up with a Melvin Jr. Daddy, what's this knife for?
Why is it in his back? And what's all that red stuff? It's raspberry jab, son.
Can I taste it? No. All right. So with that,
Tastes
because
like
Tim is
peanuts.
nodding out, I will go ahead and close the stream and thank everybody tonight. And I'm going to play something as we go out, but I don't want to say I love everybody every night, but I do love you guys. But yeah, so we're mean comic book creators. This has been a very dramatic stream. I hope
you do
forgive
heads.
me, and I hope Tim will forgive me for being so mean tonight.
Oh, we're gonna beef now.
Yeah, we're gonna go off screen. Hang on, I gotta get over here.
Intense.
Let's see where. Oh, Intense. Thanks for coming, bro. And I mean that because I haven't seen you in a while. It's good to see you. Where's the ad? Okay, I think the ad is first. Okay, so this is going to be an ad for my book for all the people watching in replay because that's where we get all our millions of views. And everybody have a good night. It's only like a minute, so you won't have to stay long. It's going to end. All right, so I'm going to turn up the volume. Can you guys see the controls at the bottom of it, or is it just me?
No, just you.
Cool. Okay. So here we go. Good night, everybody.
up at night, yeah. Make all the demons quiet, yeah. We were built to thrive, yeah. I think that we've all had enough.